And once again, I would like to welcome you to another video in this series. Today we are going to be talking about a very important topic, Windows. Everybody uses them, everybody knows them. In case you have maybe forgotten it from the Emacs tutorial, let me refresh your memory. Control X2 splits a window horizontally. Control X3 splits it vertically. Control X0 deletes the current window, or the window your cursor is in, and Control X1 deletes all the other windows, other than the one your cursor is in. Now that's all fine and dandy, you have done that. We'll do some improvements to this mechanism in the future, but there's an issue, and switching windows. So if I tile my window, I'll switch with Control XO. If I have 4 windows now, moving between them rapidly is pretty much not possible in default Emacs. So Control XO moves me to the next window, and I can cycle through windows doing Control XO. That's inefficient. If you are having a small screen, you don't tile a lot, you use maybe workspaces instead, or you just use buffers, that's cool. If you have a large window, or a large screen, and you have Emacs open, you might want to split your windows. And splitting your windows is really useful. The tutorial has taught you how to do that. I have refreshed your memory. You can have multiple buffers on the screen at the same time. Great stuff. But there's an issue of switching between them. There is multiple extensions that make sure that you don't hit Control XO multiple times. Because let's face it, that's a waste of time. Multiple extension meaning there's Ace window. There is, I think, window move. I'm pretty sure it's built in. There's something I use called switch window, which is a small extension that I use all the time, because it is unobtrusive and only really works when you have more than 2 windows open. So when you have 2 windows open, it's not going to change a thing. Control XO is still going to swap you between these 2. But if you have multiple windows, it's going to actually show its functionality, and I'm going to show you how it works. Control XE to edit our configuration. I'm going to add a new header here called switch window, and let's put some code in here. Emacs Lisp. Now the package I'm going to be installing, as already mentioned, is called switch window. So you already know how to do that. Let's do this instead. Use package switch window. Let's ensure that it is installed, and we'll have to do some configuration for it. The one thing I'm going to configure is the window input style. It's quite optional really, but it is important if you are going to be using switch window input style. I'm doing this from memory, and I'm just winging it. I hope it's correct. It should be. I've configured this a few times already. The other thing is switch window increase. I'm going to eventually explain all of these, but for now you can just follow along really. And the one most important thing is the switch window threshold 2. That's the most important part of it. You can really omit all of those. And the last 2 options are going to be optional. You can leave them out if you'd like. But when I switch windows, I want to be able to use my home row, so to speak. I don't really want to use my number keys. This is what Ace window does by default. I'm not a big fan of that. So set Q, it's going to be switch window shortcut style, QWERTY, and the last option will be set Q switch window QWERTY shortcuts. Now this one is actually going to be a list, so I already missed electric pairs. A, S, all the buttons on my home row I actually want to use for this. Actually, not G. No, let's go F. Oh, we already have F, so let's go with J, K, L. That's enough for now. Now we have to bind a key to this entire nice endeavor, and we are going to bind. Wait, what? Oh yeah, we forgot the parentheses here. This is why the indentation is doing stuff that we don't want it to do. Now with bind we can, this is a new way of mapping key bindings. We can remap another function. In this case it's called other window. Yeah, let me do it this way. This is going to be, this will show you how you can do that. We'll bind it to switch window. Let's close it off. Close the editing, save it, and reload it. It's going to, let it install. And the nice thing about all of it is the following thing. Let's tile the window. God. Oh, let's undo that. What are we? Okay, good. We can actually delete this last line. Let's do some more tiling. Now when I hit Control O, by default it just go to this window. What's going to do this time is it's going to fill all our windows with a color, and every single window is going to have a little ladder there, a little hint you can follow. So if I would like to go to this window, I can type S, and I'm there. Let's do this again. If I like to go to this window, I can type D. You can obviously just go backwards, it's just as fine. Just a little extension that does all of this. It doesn't work when you only have two windows open, which is the desired behavior. This will be set up with the window threshold. That's about it. There's another thing, other than switch window, you can use this, moves you around much quicker. There's two other things that I really don't like, and we are going to have to write some ELIS for that. Now allow me to have a sip of my Coke here. There's an issue. When I split windows, and I do so quite frequently, with say Control X3, you notice I split the window, but my cursor has remained in this window. So I always have to Control XO every single time. This is incredibly annoying. I decided to write my own function that is going to make sure that when I split the window, I'm also going to follow the split. This is not particularly difficult to do. Let's add another. Let's call it, I don't know, window splitting functions. And let's write some ELIS, shall we? Now, this is not the first function we have written. You know how to write functions. Split and follow. Horizontally, I guess. Let's do the horizontal one first. I'm going to take any arguments. It's going to be an interactive function. That's actually important. The function to split a window horizontally is called split window below. Let's close that. The other one we are going to call is called balance windows, as to make sure that they are split evenly. And the other function we are going to call is other window, one. So it's going to go one window forward. Let's close this function. Let's set a key that is going to invoke this function. And you already know what key we are going to use. We are going to use the default Control X2. And it's going to call split and follow horizontally. Let's copy this function and do the same thing for copying vertically, because why not? Split and follow. It's actually one function I'm missing, is killing an entire word, but we'll fix that. Vertically, split window, instead of going split window below, we'll call split window right. And I guess we can just, we need to change the key binding, and this function right here, or this key, split the window vertically. Now let's save this. Let's reload our configuration. We don't seem to have any errors in here, so if we do Control X3, the cursor is followed. If we do Control X2, the cursor is followed. That's it. That's all I wanted to show you in this video. Now, switch window mostly works best when you have a lot of windows open. That's kind of important. If you ever only have 2 windows open, you know, it's not really useful. You can still install it. It's a tiny package. It doesn't really slow down your launch of Emacs this much. But it really is only ever useful if you have 3 or more splits, 3 or more windows. You can set the keys. Let's close this. I don't know why this is happening, but let's go to switch window. You can set these keys to whatever you like most. I just like using my home row. I think these are the most useful ones. I omitted G because G is quite in the middle and I keep my fingers close to the home row. G is in the middle. There is a lot of other keys. I forgot. Actually, I didn't forget anything. Those are the keys that I like most. I forgot H actually. Let me add H here. And that's it. This is switch window. There's another package, as I already mentioned, called Ace window that does pretty much the same thing with a few differences. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't dim your window. So you need to pick up the number or the character that you have to follow without, or if you have a lot of text in this window, if the buffer is really full. I think it was a little bit annoying. This is why I switched to switch window instead of Ace window. Move window is another alternative. You can just Google it. It lets you bind keys to moving between windows, but instead of choosing a hint or going to the next window, you have to move you have to pretty much use your keys, your arrow keys on your keyboard to move between them. Let's say in conjunction with the super key. I'm not really big on that. I don't think it's necessary, so I just skip out on that. I think this is enough. Thank you very much for watching. In the next video, I am actually going to be speaking about the mode line. We already know the mode line is this thing right below here, and you can do a lot of things with the mode line. We are going to be making it pretty and nicer, and we are going to do something called diminishing modes. But that's for the next video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Goodbye.